Welcome back, everybody. Excuse me. It is the Conway and Whitman Show. We're live at 97.1 Free FM. I got up this morning bright and early, around 10:30, rolled out of the old rack.
Got out of the rack.
And I looked, I go on the internet right away. I want to see, if the world's imploding or, what's on fire.
You don't throw the radio on or turn on the television?
I go right to the internet to see if there's a, massive earthquake. Is somebody famous dead? What happened to Britney Spears? I want to know what's happening. Right?
Okay, I understand.
So a few sites I check out. Drudge Report is one of them. I go to Google News. I check out, CNN, KCAL, CBS 2. I buzz around.
Right.
And I see on Drudge Report that the giant Airbus 380 lands in the United States of America. That's the double-decker, $300 million plane that I think seats like 6,000 people.
That's huge.
Yeah. 10,000? 10,000 people? 12,000. Wow, 12,000 people. So I turn the TV on. I'm watching KCAL 9. And I figure, well, they probably landed in Miami or New York somewhere, right? They brought it right here to LAX.
Sitting right here.
Yeah. And I thought, well, they got some nerve bringing that sucker into LAX. And then they go on, and then, they land it, and there's a big ceremony. There's cops all around it. Mayor Villaraigosa gets on it. He's in the cockpit. He's, talking about how great it is.
Taking pictures.
Yeah, the president of Airbus talks about, oh, what a great plane. It's fuel efficient. It seats 12,000 people.
Right, all of that.
And I'm thinking, these frogs, these French idiots who run Airbus, have some effing nerve flying that plane into LAX, literally about a 10-minute drive away from Boeing, where we make our own planes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and presenting that piece of S to us.
Rolling it in here.
That French pilot who almost wiped out when he landed.
Well, but he made it fine.
I'd like to have seen it wipe out. I'm not a big fan of the French. I hope you understand that. They didn't supply one troop to Iraq. They didn't give us one guy, man.
Are you still on them with that?
Not only that, but they didn't let us fly over their airspace when we attacked Libya.
Oh, right. I see. I remember that.
And then, coincidentally, we bombed the French embassy in Libya. But they've got some effing nerve, man, flying that plane into LAX with that French pilot.
Well, there they are now. I hear them in the conference room.
And then they got the mayor crawling all over it. There they are. And you know the reason why they're taking this? By the way, when we create a new plane, when Boeing, the Americans,
right?
These goddamn Americans who, invented the big plane. When we come out with the big plane, we don't fly it into Paris and show everybody. We let the plane speak for itself.
Right, if it happens to go to Paris, well, then it goes there.
There it goes.
Right.
But we don't fly it in and have all kinds of ceremonies and everything, because that's an insult to the French.
Is that why they brought it here? They brought it here just to show it off? There were but it was full of passengers, I'm sure.
No, it was not. It was full of, like, press people and dignitaries and corporate guys from Airbus.
I see.
So they fly it in here into the heart of Boeing. I mean, this is where Boeing is. In Long Beach. This is where the guys, they make these planes.
Right. It's almost like kicking dirt in the umpire's face.
Right. And then Mayor Villaraigosa up there in the pie, waving outside the window. Doesn't he understand that Boeing is sitting there in Long Beach?
Well, it's an event for Los Angeles, and he's the mayor, so he's got to get out there.
Was anybody else irritated by this? Am I the only guy on the planet that's irritated by this Airbus? Here are the phone numbers, 520-9710 and 888-520-9710.
What would you have preferred be done with the new airplane, Tim?
You know what? Just let it, if Qantas or New Zealand Air or Air Australia, whoever buys one,
right.
Air Canada.
Somebody's got to buy it.
Whenever it comes into L.A., it just comes into L.A. with some, corporation who's bought one, and it just happens to arrive here. But the French the French government subsidizes that Airbus. The United States government doesn't subsidize Boeing. That's a private company. Mm-hmm. So we've got to go out there and deal with private companies around the world. Airbus is a government-run program. And Airbus is in a lot of trouble over this 380, by the way.
Why? What's wrong with the plane?
It's been 2 years in delays, and they ain't selling them.
They're not moving them?
They're not moving them like they should. Air France says it's cutting 10,000 jobs. I'm sorry, Airbus. Airbus said it's cutting 10,000 jobs over the next 4 years as part of restructuring plan. It's aimed at helping the European aircraft maker recover from costly delays to its A380 Super Jumbo.
And that's what we saw today, right?
That's what we saw coming in today. And the effects of a U.S. Weaker dollar. The job cuts will affect workers in France, Germany, Spain, and the United Kingdom. Half will come from within Airbus workforce, while the other half will come from subcontractors. This company is going in the toilet, and that's why they're flying this plane around the world to try to show it off in a last-ditch effort to save this company.
Well, it really looks like a nice plane. I mean, I know you have some issues with it, but I tell you,
I'd never fly on one of these.
It looks like a beautiful way to fly, this plane.
You know what? I don't mind the smaller Airbuses, like JetBlue has some decent Airbus planes, and I've flown on those. But a couple reasons why I'd never fly in this, okay?
All right, number one?
Number one is, first of all, how long does it take to board this thing? I mean, don't you have to get there 4 hours before it leaves to board?
I think it would take a while to get on, yeah.
Okay, number two, if you're a terrorist and you want to blow something out of the sky, isn't that it?
Yeah, I think so. That's probably I don't know so, but that's a big target is maybe a good way to put it.
12,000 people on it. You could shoot that out of the sky, and it would be the biggest news ever. I'm not saying I hope that happens. I hope it never happens, and I hope even the terrorists contemplating it get killed if they ever even think about it. But it's just too scary to be on. Plus, you can't keep defying gravity like that. This thing weighs over 1 million pounds.
Well, you think it'll fall out of the sky?
You know what? I don't know how you fly around the world with 1 million pounds under you and you think everything's going to be cool. It has the wingspan of a football field. And my brothers at Boeing, man, I feel your pain tonight.
Well, I understand. I have another question about aeronautics.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen the commercial on television for Scottrade?
Which one?
The CEO of the Scottrade company, the guy who owns Scottrade.
Yeah, I've seen that guy.
Why is he flying always in a helicopter on those commercials that says Scottrade on it?
He gives everybody a little more for their money. He painted that barn with that dog on it.
Right, they do the commercials of when he was a little kid, but now they've got him always in a helicopter, and he's flying a helicopter. Is this like a guy who flies a helicopter, and since it's his company, he wants in the commercial to be flying a helicopter?
I don't know. Maybe he's trading, maybe he makes trades at the stock market by helicopter.
Yeah,
he flies into Wall Street, makes a trade, and then flies back to the corporate office.
I don't think he does, but I was just wondering, why is this dude always in a helicopter? But anyway.
Boeing also won a fairly big contract recently. I can't remember who it was with. I believe it was British Airways, where British Airways decided to buy more Boeing planes than it did Airbus, even though they're part of the company.
Oh, all right. So they went outside of their...
They own Airbus. They're part of the owners of Airbus, the United Kingdom. And they even said F it, and they bought Boeing planes instead of Airbus. It was a huge blow to Airbus. And it's just, it's wildly irritating. To fly that into the heart of Boeing is one of the most egregious things I've ever seen on the planet.
Well, the guys at Boeing could certainly make a plane as spectacular as that Airbus. I mean, that's not an issue. But...
Well, for many years it was. I mean, it was the 747, which is a Boeing plane.
Right, but why don't they just now make a bigger plane than that?
You know what? I think it's going to be shorter trips in smaller planes that's going to make a company successful. I mean, if you look at the successful airlines on this planet, or at least in this country, they're Southwest. They don't have any Boeing 730s. I mean,
smaller planes.
They're carrying, 60 people to Vegas on a hot day. Airbus, not Airbus. What's the one that flies LA to New York? JetBlue.
JetBlue, right.
JetBlue is another, profitable airline.
Right.
The no-nonsense smaller, airlines and airplanes. And, these guys with the Airbus, they made a bad move with this 380. They're on a last-ditch international effort to try to sell it to people. And then Maravilla Rugosa's, he was on, I don't know if you saw this today.
I didn't see the mayor out there, no.
He wasn't even in the cockpit. He was on top of the plane, and he was, humping it.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a mistake.
I thought that was so weird to see the mayor.
Yeah,
because Mayor Bradley wouldn't have humped that plane.
No. Well, he has a terminal named after him. He doesn't need to hump airplanes.
Mayor Yorty wouldn't hump.
Jim Hahn
Wouldn't have humped it either.
No way.
But Villaraigosa was up there on top of it.
What? Both legs wrapped around it?
Yeah, it was just disgusting.
Did anybody stop him, or was he really going for it for a few seconds?
He was enjoying himself. All right, let's talk to JD in Studio City on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, dude.
You know what? A slight correction. Not that I'm opposed to, sticking it to the French once in a while.
Right.
But I think it's a European consortium, so it's not just the French. It's all of Europe that is behind Airbus.
I understand that, but I think the majority of the government money comes from the French government, and I also think that they build them in France, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It is based in France.
And most of the people who work for them are French.
Yeah, and, France, England, and Germany are the primary countries in Europe, so it's going to be...
but you know what?
Now, guys, help me understand.
They don't build them in Germany. They don't build them in England.
The two of you, honestly, help me understand. The reason that we're angry about the Airbus being in Los Angeles is because it's a foreign-made plane. Is that it? I mean, that's
one of them.
That's one of the reasons.
But also, it's subsidized by government. Airbus is...
Well, so are Amtrak trains.
Well, then Amtrak should be put out of business, too.
Oh, well, all right. So you have an extreme position, then.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you why, okay?
Is your position that transportation should not at all be subsidized by government?
Well, if the United States subsidized Boeing would rule the world. Because the United States would give them enough money where they could go sell Boeing probably at a discount price.
Yeah, you're right, I think.
And explode all over the world, and everybody would be on a Boeing. But the United States government doesn't do it because it doesn't think it's fair for government to be involved in private industry like that. So they've backed off. But the French government, and the UKs and the Germans, man, they took public money and put it into this company, Airbus, and they're now more competitive because they're subsidized by taxpayers.
Well, I mean, if your argument is that taxpayer money should never go into subsidizing transportation, look at these buses. I mean, you were on the bus a couple of weeks ago. The city of Los Angeles subsidizes, or I think operates, the metro line.
Yeah, but there are very few major airline people who build airplanes. And if the United States decided again to subsidize Boeing, we would rule the planet.
So are you just kind of sitting here wishing the government would make the decision to do that so we could show these French where these airplanes come from?
I think that it should be private business, and it should be a private enterprise. I mean, if Boeing is operated on a private basis, then why shouldn't Airbus? Why should they have to compete with a government-run program? You know? The Europeans are trying to take over the airline business with Airbus, and they got a big fat punch in the face with this Airbus 380 that the people aren't really buying.
Well, I guess, it's ultimately the consumer who decides whether they want to ride on the plane, and you're saying that people aren't really getting on that Airbus.
I wouldn't get on it. I would get on an Airbus smaller plane. I like the smaller planes. They're quiet. They're nice. They're clean.
But not the big one.
JetBlue runs a lot of those Airbuses.
Yeah.
I wouldn't run on this big one, though. I mean, seriously, you got 12,000, what? 14,000 people on one plane? Jesus.
Now, do you fault JetBlue for buying these Airbus planes?
In a way, but not really. I mean, I think that, you're going to make your money in America. I believe that...
Is this a buy American argument?
Well, when you're talking about a big company like that, I like to see people buy, Boeing. I mean, if they're going to be comparable, why not buy Boeing?
Same argument then to a guy who's in a Japanese car as opposed to a German car as opposed to a domestic car?
Nah, because the technology is vastly different. I happen to own a Yukon and I went out and bought an American car because I like to support this country I live in. But then again, I do have a smaller Japanese car too, a Subaru. So I'm not really crazy about that because Subaru and Toyota and Honda, I don't think that they're subsidized by the Japanese government. I think that's private industry.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
So as long as you can make, in private industry, as long as you can make a car that's the best, then people will buy it. But it really pisses me off that this French government, the Europeans subsidize this company And then they fly this right into our backyard.
Yeah, and
where Boeing is made.
Mayor gets out there.
Yeah, everybody. Roy and Torrance, you're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, what up, boys?
Hey.
Hey, listen, no, the reason why they wanted the 380s in here, about a year and a half ago, they want to do this hoopla and the PR thing and bringing in the Airbus into an international destination because ultimately that's what it's going to do. It's going to go like transatlantic or Pacific.
Right.
Well, they had L.A. set up, and about 4 months ago, you know what, we're not going to fly into L.A., we're going to fly into JFK. Well, L.A. wanted it because L.A. is still not considered an international gateway. So they hem and they haw and they ran all those PR things. If you guys notice the construction in L.A. the last 8 months.
With the new runways?
Yeah, they're widening the runways to accommodate the wingspan for a plane as big as a 380.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's wasted money because
absolutely,
in 5 years, this Airbus, this 380 ain't going to be around. All right, thanks, buddy. Let's talk to Brian in Corona Del Mar. You're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, guys. I really enjoy the show. And it was a great gag you got in with that lotto ticket.
That was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that's something I'm going to use on a friend of mine.
I'm going to put you on hold here. Also, it takes a man not to get pissed off about that. I mean, at least you were a pretty good sport about it. We did it over the air in front of thousands and thousands of people. You may have had one of those lottery ticket scams pulled on you initially in front of more people than anybody else.
Right. Well, I found it to be very funny because it's the ticket is very believable until, of course, you look at the back and it says that the prize may be claimed at your mama's house, valid only in your dreams. All winners are subject to people laughing at you.
There you go. All right, Brian, back to the Airbus, dude.
Hey, and I agree with you 100%. I think Riagosa should have showed a little bit more class than doing what he did.
Yeah, it's a slap in the face to all these guys down in Long Beach who are trying to keep this business going.
It is. It's a shame, and we're losing all kinds of business out of the United States. I mean, Riagosa.
Well, then maybe it's time to and I don't know the specifics. I mean, I cannot at all speak with any authority or credibility on the issue of the airline industry. I know nothing about it. But is it time maybe for our government to step up, like the European government seems to be stepping up? Is that a possible solution?
I don't think so, because if you've got the French government and other governments supporting the scare bus, as my mechanic friends in the airline industry call it, you'd think that you'd have a better product, but they've had all these delays and the product just, we all kinds of problems with it.
Right, we got a better product.
Yeah.
I mean, the Boeing is the best, man. They had an outstanding year. The Boeing company offered an upbeat forecast Wednesday in its quest to retake the world's top spot in commercial aviation from European rival Airbus. This is from 2006, by the way. Mm-hmm. The aerospace company share rose $3, and they've got an S-load, even though they don't use that term in here, of orders for the next... the company said it expects to deliver 440 to 445 commercial aircraft in 2007. Up from the year's forecast of 395.
Oh, wow, that's quite an increase.
Yeah, it's big. Yep. Boeing said it booked a record 1,029 orders for new planes last year, pushing the value of its airplane backlog to $124 billion.
That's amazing.
All right, go Boeing. Way to kick these guys' ass. All right, they flew this Airbus right into the heart of Boeing. Does it bother you? 520-9710 and 888-520-9710. It's Conway and Whitman live at 97.1 Free FM. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Conway and Whitman Show. We're live at 97.1 Free FM. Airbus has flown their new 380 aircraft. I guess it holds 14,000 people. Right into the heart of Southern California, where Boeing is making aircraft. And it seems to be a big FU, man. Big FU to Boeing, man.
Well, I wonder if the Boeing, we haven't heard yet tonight heard from a lot of folks on this, but I haven't heard from any Boeing employees who were personally offended by this Airbus being present.
Yeah, I'll bet they're out there. I bet people at Boeing listen to this show. They're working all night.
They get pissed off.
Yeah, they get pissed at that all the government employees, which Viragosa is one,
Well, the elected mayor of Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, he goes out there and shakes hands with everybody. Look at this, the Airbus is here, the Airbus. And the people at Boeing go, wait, whoa.
We're right over here.
It's a big competitor, my brother.
Yeah, I bet Mayor Villaraigosa has been over to Boeing, though. I'm sure that he's been there, and I'm sure I'm sure the good union workers at Boeing support a mayor who supports the union.
I don't know.
I'm sure of it.
All right, let's talk to how about JC in Hawthorne? You're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, fellas, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, dude.
Hey, my thing is, can you imagine waiting for the luggage for the thing?
Right, all right, thanks, dude. You're right. No, you're absolutely right. The luggage, just to get the luggage off this plane, has to take 4 days.
It's got to take forever.
I mean, it's 2 decks, it's 1 million pounds, and it's up in the air.
Now, what's the difference? Is the upper deck where first-class passengers are, and the lower deck is where more economy tickets are? You know, is that a difference in literally deck? Like the people with money go upstairs, and it's like on the Titanic?
Can't get a vibe for where the people are sitting. But this is kind of like Rick Dees will probably go on this, right?
Well, you know what? I definitely would, and I would love to be. I tell you, if you've been on the Airbus in the first class cabin, I mean, someone told me this,
right? Because you couldn't afford it, right?
No.
Or you wouldn't do that, right?
I heard Rick talking about Virgin Atlantic, and it makes me laugh. I do love him so much. He was talking about British Airways.
And he said, well, I'll tell you what is an amazing airline is British Airways. If you're in first class, the seat goes somebody told me this.
They told me
guy
this.
could buy 9 of those planes.
Right.
Someone told him, oh yeah, the seat goes back.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, I'll just be back here in coach. Really, the seat goes all the way back? Unbelievable.
Yeah. Like he's back in coach flying with Willard Wiseman.
All right there, buddy.
Just Willard and I will be right back in coach. Well, look at that, Willard.
All right there. The seat goes all the way back there, buddy.
Well, that is wonderful.
Sonny in El Monte are on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, guys, love your show.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
I just had a comment. I think, competition is good in the long run for Boeing.
Right.
So probably it's a good thing that Airbus is around.
Right, but it's subsidized by government.
Yeah.
And, China is also going to put together a company that's going to be subsidized by their government.
Well, your argument seems to be, Tim, that it's the government subsidizing these airlines, where the caller is basically saying that the existence of the competition will light a fire under Boeing.
That might happen, but it turns out that Boeing doesn't need the competition.
No, Boeing is obviously, Boeing is a very successful
they're very good at what they do.
Operation.
But also, then it's time for the U.S. government to subsidize Boeing and watch Boeing really take off. Because, they
right, but you seem to almost be frustrated that that's not what's happening.
I don't like to see that happen, though, because I hate to see our tax dollars go to a private company like that.
Well, that's okay. Government tax dollars subsidize a lot of industries.
I know they subsidize the airline industry, but the air manufacturing industry. How many more industries can they subsidize?
Tell the guys who work forever at Lockheed that the government shouldn't subsidize.
They're not subsidizing. They're buying defense aircraft from them. There's a big difference.
There is a difference. Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk to Matt in Camarillo. You're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right, dude.
A couple things I want to talk about, and I'm kind of on the line here. First thing is that Boeing was going to come out with a double-decker a few decades back, but there was really no market for them.
Right.
So also is, though, that UPS and mail service companies that buy the A380, that's going to be good for UPS and things like that. A lot of cargo room and all that stuff.
The 380?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
That's not. You know how long it'd take to fill up a UPS plane with packages? It wouldn't be overnight service, I'll tell you that, dude. The reason why originally Boeing made that big 747.
Right.
And the reason why they put the cockpit on top like that, and a few extra seats, because they never thought that was going to be a passenger plane. It was designed for a cargo plane.
Right.
And then it took off as a passenger plane, and it has been, very successful since. But they thought if they ever had to take them out of service as a passenger plane, they could immediately turn into a cargo plane and it's front-loaded. So that's the reason the cockpit's up there.
Oh, really?
Eric in Long Beach, you're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
All right.
Now, I have a quick question, or maybe it's like, I don't know, it's a maybe, but do you think this has anything to do with bringing the Olympics over here to Long Beach or to Carson or to, where they're trying to do it, like in 2010?
It's possible.
Trying to promote it a little bit more?
It's smart of LAX to expand those runways anyway.
Okay.
Because, eventually the Airbus is going to fly in here. The 380 is going to fly here in anyway. But I wouldn't be so pissed if they just waited till, Air Canada or Air Lingus or.
Is it because they're European? I mean, that's kind of it, isn't it? So you can tell me.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
I know it.
The Europeans. That's not true. I'm a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of the French. I like the Germans, the Irish, the Italians, the Spanish, the English.
Right.
But I'm not a big fan of the French. I'm really not. And big French pilot, landed that thing today in Southern California. I thought it was just a big F you to Boeing.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at the Boeing website, and I guess on their website now they have an awful lot of images, which are really great images if you'd like to look at airplanes and just marvel at the construction. There's only 6 airplanes, according to the Boeing website, that are still in production. I mean, there's a whole slew of aircraft that are out of production, but I guess this 787 Dreamliner, I don't know much about it, Tim, but the Boeing 787 Dreamliner is supposed to be the next big thing.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, you should look at some of these pictures of this Dreamliner plane.
Boeing 787?
Right. If you go to Boeing's website, you can look at the pictures of the images of
it's beautiful
planes that are in production and out of production. This is really nice, man.
All right. I'm not saying the Airbus isn't beautiful. Have you seen the interior of the Airbus?
It's remarkable.
The 380 is unbelievable. But, again, I just have a problem with them flying that thing into LAX, especially, to promote it.
Now, what happened? Did people get on it and leave in it?
I think it's still there. I think you can go down to LAX and look at it. It's 8 stories tall. I think it's 80 feet tall.
Is it that big?
I think it's so. Yeah.
You would have to see it, I guess, driving by even. Maybe you'd see it off the runway?
Yeah, maybe they got lights all over it, and they're doing this whole PR campaign for Airbus, a company that's not doing well. Steve in Simi Valley, you're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, guys.
Hey, dude.
It's an honor to be on your show.
Yeah.
Well, look at you.
There's not one order from a U.S. company for the Airbus.
Is that right? You mean the 380?
Right. Everybody's waiting to see what Boeing's doing.
Wow. That's a big kick in the nuts to Airbus, huh?
Well, how many Renaults do you see driving around?
That's true. I mean, who would ever drive one? All right, buddy. Great point.
It is a pretty decent point.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess, you know what? It's actually satisfying that Boeing doesn't need government subsidies. Yeah. But look at that. There's only 2 pilot seats in this this Airbus 380.
Just 2 pilots?
Yeah. And you could probably fly with 1. But they probably got 2 guys up there in case one goes berserk.
Yeah, you definitely want to have 2.
But a friend of mine, I think I heard this on the show, or a friend of mine told me this, that these new Boeing airplanes are going to have 1 pilot, these new 787s. They're going to have 1 pilot and 1 dog in the cockpit. That's all they need.
Oh, I wouldn't be for that.
The pilot's job is to feed the dog, and the dog's job is to bite the pilot if he touches anything.
Like it's him.
All right, they flew this Airbus 380 right into us today, and are attacking us with this thing.
Well, I don't know.
Right into the heart of Boeing.
Don't know if it's an attack, Tim.
It is a financial attack on this country, and we're not going to sit by and take it from these goofballs. 520-9710 and 888-520-9710. It is the Conway and Whitman Show. We're live on 97.1 Free FM. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Conway and Whitman Show. We're live on 97.1 Free FM. The Airbus 380 is out at LAX, the biggest commercial aircraft ever. Can carry 14,000 people.
It's a real fat plane, and I don't mean fat like it's great. I'm not trying to talk like that. I'm saying it's physically fat. It's not a thin. It doesn't look like an airplane. It looks like a pudgy building.
It's like an office building.
It looks like an office. You're right. It looks like an office building with wings on it.
Sean and Whittier, you're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hi, Tim. How you doing?
Good. How you?
I just have a couple of statements and a couple of questions for you. What kind of car do you drive, Tim?
I got a Yukon and I've got a Subaru.
Okay. Who makes the Subaru?
The Japanese.
Okay. Second question.
Wait, hold on a sec. Are they subsidized by the Japanese government? Yes or no, sir? Yes or no, sir?
Yes, they are.
They are not, sir.
They certainly are, Tim.
They are not.
Where does the Japanese car makers get their money, Tim?
Where do they get their They're from people who buy the cars.
No, they get it from the banks, Tim.
Right, Tim. You don't have to keep calling me Tim Sean, you jackass. Why don't you tell me something here, sir? Why don't you tell me something, sir? What kind of car do you have?
I drive a Chevy, okay?
Yeah, I have a Yukon, too. What'd you pay for that Chevy? What year is it?
It's a brand new one. It's 2007.
Well,
HHR.
An HHR. What did it cost you?
Fully loaded, about $18 out the door.
$18,000.
Yes, sir.
And did you try to bargain with them and get the best deal you can?
No, sir. But
yes, you did. You tried to screw over the Americans.
Let me ask you one more thing, and then I want to state something to you. Okay? Who do you think built the engines for this Airbus, Tim?
Who cares about the engines?
Okay, last question.
Did Rolls-Royce build the engines?
Last question.
Did Rolls-Royce build the engines?
Last question for you.
Let me ask you something, sir. Let me ask you something, okay? The 380, what is the break-even point for that airline? How many units?
Well,
How many units, sir?
If you let me...
How many units?
If you let me...
Tell me you don't know. Tell me you don't know, and I will press on my next question. How many units does Airbus have to make of the 380 before they break even?
I haven't the foggiest idea.
Because you don't know, because you're not well-read and well-versed on this.
Well, Tim...
The A350 is a dead issue. That's the airline that they built before the 380, and they have received 0 orders on it because they tried to copy the 787, and nobody was impressed by it. Why do you keep getting down on Boeing?
Why are you even talking about it, Tim?
Why are you getting down on Boeing, sir?
I'm not down on Boeing.
You are an anti-American piece of crap.
No, one more statement, Tim.
All right.
Do you know who the largest air carrier in the world is, Tim?
United.
United Parcel Service. They could fill up
UPS.
5 of those planes easily. You know what,
How long
Tim?
would it take them to fill one of these planes? How long would it take them?
Tim, get off your high cloud.
Get out of there, you jackass.
Goodbye.
Get out of here, you jackass. Anti-American piece of crap.
I don't know that he was anti-American.
Yeah, he hates his country. He's a French-loving, he's an insurgent is what he is.
All right.
George and Ventura, you're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hey, this George. Hey, I used to work on 747s, and the tip of the tail jacked up is 65 feet in the air. And originally, when Boeing designed the 747, that was going to be a double-decker. An upper deck, okay, there's an upper deck and a main deck and lower deck. Lower deck, is, of course, is for the luggage.
Right, but I thought they built it because it was going to be a cargo plane if they had to move, if they had to leave. If it wasn't successful in commercial aviation, they're going to make it a cargo plane.
Yeah, it's correct, because I've worked on it. So what happened, they said back in the 60s, when they designed it, because the cockpit is in the upper deck, and there was, like, sleeping quarters. So as the 747 started out, it's 747 100, 200, 300, 400. So the numbers 100, 200 means that the length of the upper deck.
Right.
Or the length of the plane.
Where do they build those 747s? Down here or up in Seattle?
No, I worked in Wichita, Kansas.
I meant Kansas, Seattle, or Long Beach.
Yeah, well, they make planes there in Wichita, too.
Now, this plane that we saw today on the news and this plane that Tim is talking about, the Airbus, the 380, is this being ordered frequently or is this a bust? I mean, the people don't want it. Companies are not asking the Europeans to make more of them?
I noticed because I read business every day, and they're not really getting that many orders, and they're going to take a long time to
but you know, they say
break even.
They said the break-even point for that is it's 250 units now. It may reach 300.
Wow.
So they have to. That means they have to make 300 of those planes to get their money back? 250
now, but with the cost delays. See, what the problem was...
That's a lot of aircraft to build.
For people who don't know as much about the A380 as I do, I'm going to lay a lesson on you here.
Yes, please do, because I don't know anything about it.
All right. The A380 was plagued with engineering problems from the get-go. It was 5 to 10 tons over the promised delivery weight, and the break-even point is about 250 units. It may reach 300. And the costs involved in all these problems are horrendous. Obviously, the weight problem is going to cost them penalties. The engineering problems may have cost them trying to reduce the weight. I mean, there's a lot of problems with this plane. They fly it here, and Villaraigosa's all over it.
I guess he was on it. Well, he's the mayor. I mean, that's not... You kind of expect that he would have to get on the plane. And
he could have passed. He could have been, downtown having breakfast with somebody. Let's talk to, I don't know, Dave. You're on 97.1 Free FM. You there?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Dave.
Dave here from Santa Monica.
Hi, Dave from Santa Monica. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. But I went out there today and looked at it. What a gorgeous piece of machinery that is sitting on the tarmac.
Are you calling from the People's Republic of Santa Monica, you anti-American slob?
It is a beautiful plane.
Are you calling from the communist Santa Monica?
Not at all. I love America.
Get out of here. Stop with the French. You probably own a French restaurant out there, and you're trying to screw everybody by making them speak French in your restaurant. Get out of here, Dave, you jackass. Enough with these anti-Americans. Jim in Burbank, you're on 97.1 Free FM.
Hi, Tim.
Yes.
My question to you is, are you annoyed with the fact that it's it's subsidized by the government, or the fact that it's just flew in here?
Nah, a lot of things annoy me.
But I think those are the two main... I think the caller has touched on the two main issues that irritate you.
I think what annoys me is the fact that it is subsidized by government over there, and they're putting a ton of money into it.
Let me tell you something. I have lived in 3 European countries, and I was born in one of them.
Right.
They have things in Europe called semi-state bodies, i.e. the government invests money in those particular industries.
Right.
Most airlines in most European countries, the main airline in that country is pretty much subsidized by the government.
Right.
But the government does take a piece of the profit at the end of the year.
Right, but don't you think it's easier for a company like Airbus to qualify for those government loans than it is almost any other company?
Not necessarily.
Oh, please, Jim. You come to this country and you think we're all morons. This is a subsidized company by the Europeans trying to take over the world with air manufacture, and you know what? Boeing's going to stick it up your ass. You understand that?
Oh, no.
Now get off the phone. Derek in Irvine, you're on 97.1 Free FM.
I couldn't agree with you more, Tim.
Unbelievable, these people.
I got a couple of things, if you don't mind, real quick. It's funny that Airbus, I was listening to the news, they have 130 orders for airplanes, and they only have 9 made. A. B, the thing that I like about Boeing is they make everything in one place. That guy was full of it. They don't make it in Kansas. They make it all in Seattle, Washington, at the Boeing factory. Airbus, they ship it from Spain. They ship it to Toulouse, France for final manufacturing. They ship it from all over Europe. I don't trust that, A. And B, have you ever been on an Airbus?
Yes.
Like America West? Scary.
Yeah, I like the smaller Airbus planes.
Does America West buy them? I didn't even know that. Are there...
America West has a lot of Airbus.
There are American carriers.
So does JetBlue. JetBlue is almost exclusive Airbus.
Oh, so JetBlue buys all of their airplanes from the European market?
They do.
Okay, did not know that.
It's all Airbus, and then on the East Coast market, they have a couple of Embraer company, which is a Brazilian company. So, but look at Southwest. In Southwest, they all fly all American airplanes. All South and Southwest is all Boeing airplanes, and I saw this thing today, and it's like, I was down there at Century, and it was cool, because that's what I'm into. That's what all my friends are into. That's what we do. But these people that call and say, "Oh, what kind of car?" It doesn't matter. American-made stuff is American-made stuff, and you can take pride in that, knowing that that's boosting our economy, boosting our, boosting jobs for us. I mean, you go down to LAX, there's aviation companies all over the place, but
yeah, I just have a tremendous disdain for French anything. I mean, I don't know whether it's built up over the years. I'm sure it has.
It's been maybe made worse by this recent Iraq situation.
Yeah, I never thought that they thanked us enough for saving their asses in World War I and World War II.
And now they're flying their planes in here.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if it wasn't for America, that would be Germany.
Well, I remember the old joke during the, I guess it's an older joke, but during the Iraq War, did you know how many Frenchmen it takes to defend Paris?
No.
Neither do I. It's never happened.
Yeah, I heard my grandfather talk about it, and he said there wasn't I mean, my grandfather had quit his job. Didn't quit his job. They moved him from his job to downtown Cleveland to build tanks to go fight the Germans. And you couldn't say you're not going. You know, they just called you one day and they said, hey, you got a new job.
Right.
And it's, you're no longer going down to Ugite and working with your buddies. You're going to downtown Cleveland, you're building tanks.
Right.
And you're working 6, sometimes 7 days a week. And you did it because, they asked you to do it and because, you were proud to do it. You wanted to, make tanks for this country to try to, kick the Germans' ass. So you build those tanks all day. You go home, read the newspaper, watch the news, and see how your boys are doing with these tanks you're building.
Right.
And it just doesn't. My grandfather never seemed like he was sufficiently thanked enough for the work that those guys did in helping the French beat the Germans back.
Felt slighted a bit.
Yeah, twice.
2 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 slights.
All right.
And then I just got a big problem with those folks. So F them. It's Conway and Whitman live on 97.1 Free FM. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Conway and Whitman Show. We're live at 97.1 Free FM, joined every single night around 5 to 11 by John and Jeff, the 2 biggest studs in radio, man. Look at you guys.
I tell you, man.
How's your weekend? Nobody gets tail like you dudes. Well, not you anymore, Jeff. You're married, but I mean, John,
I'm not so sure. See, married guys get a lot more women because there's something about a married man that a woman finds intriguing. Being a single guy, it's like nobody wants you, but someone wanted Jeff, so now there's the intrigue.
Well, I guess it's because, I think you're right. It's because somebody wanted Jeff enough to spend the rest of their life with Jeff. Who is that Sparkle, right?
Yeah.
Do you talk about it on the air? Do you mention her name?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But women like married guys because there's something about a married guy because he has shown a commitment, unlike myself. So.
Right, but a married guy can only capitalize on that intrigue if he steps outside the bounds of his marriage. And most married guys wouldn't be married probably if that's what they wanted to still do.
But you see, that's how a woman likes the chase, is can she get the married guy?
Well, I think she likes the married guy like she likes the gay guy, because she knows he's not going to be, lifting that skirt up and trying to hit it.
Safe.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's married, he won't hit on it.
Or you think, John, on some level, whether it be the gay guy or the married guy, a chick wants him to violate his rules.
Exactly. Can this woman change this man into thinking to sleep with her even though he's married? So that's the challenge for a woman, is to get the married guy.
Or maybe because it's hotter. Like if prostitution was legalized, there are a lot of guys who would never do it. But because it's illegal, there's that extra thrill in it. Maybe it's because the guy's married. If he does cheat on his wife, that's even, better in the sack.
Yeah, there's a little buzz
more
there.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
You can get killed.
Well, I've known women, and I've met women who only date married guys because they don't want a boyfriend. They just want to be with a guy for a certain period of time and be done with him.
And they want gifts.
Wow.
They want to get paid. Now, John, you did an experiment where you actually purchased an engagement ring?
Yeah,
wedding band.
I got a wedding band, and I wore it for 2 or 3 months, and there were women that were actually more interested in me just because I had a ring on my finger than without. So it is a strange thing.
You wore it for 2 months?
2 months.
It's longer I've worn
about
mine.
6 years. 6 years ago. It was a little experiment we did.
Yeah, you know what also gets chicks? If you have a dog. If you run around with a dog, chicks love that, man.
Yeah, no dog for me, so
what about
no ring?
A kid, too, though. I mean, you have a beautiful little kid, and if you show up at a Starbucks, the women come up and talk to you.
Yeah, but it's usually the women who talk to me are the chicks finishing their 7th pack of Madelines. They're really hitting
picky.
Thank you, dear.
I'm attracted. A lot of fat chicks talk to me, but I like fat chicks.
I get that too.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
Yeah, I guess fat chicks have a level of confidence that I'd love to have. I don't know where they got it.
Well, they try harder like Avis.
Yeah, it's that BBW barbecue action. I love that song.
Yeah. All right, what's coming up tonight, fellas? What are you guys working on in the other room?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. What do you got?
Right.
We got some news pile stuff, and there's going to be a car being recalled, so find out if it's yours.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Yeah, we got a recall.
American or Japanese or foreign?
Japanese.
European? Really?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Surprising.
Bubba. All right, that is amazing. You know what? Also, the new cars. When you buy a new car, and I bought one recently, it doesn't come with a cigarette lighter.
No, absolutely not.
I said to the guy, where's the cigarette lighter? He looks at me like I had 3 heads. And he goes, you smoke? I said, no, a friend of mine does that I drive to work with.
Yeah. How about an ashtray? Is there an ashtray in it?
There's an ashtray, but you know what it says in the ashtray? No smoking. Isn't that weird? But it comes with a fake lighter. It comes with a little plastic piece that goes into where the lighter is.
Well, that's not a lighter anymore. That's where you charge your phone.
I don't want to charge the phone.
Come on.
It's something to be hot. But also, those old lighters, man, they just burn your hands.
They really
can't pass it to anybody.
No, that's silver.
All right, John and Jeff coming up, everybody, in about 5 minutes right here on 97.1 Free FM. All right.
This is a lucky day ticket.
Lucky days. All right.
All right, get 3 amounts and win. $2, $40, $20, $10,000, $10,000. A $10,000 winner.
Get out of here.
I am not kidding.
Are you effing kidding me?
This is a $10,000 winner.
No, that's not.
Oh, my God.
On the bottom of the ticket. 10,000 3 times. That is a $10,000 winner.
Are you effing kidding me? Dude, David, you just won $10,000. I told you, if you ever have a big ticket, don't tell him.